Good morning. We're continuing our devotion series in Philippians, and today we're reading from chapter 1, verses 27 to 30. Whatever happens, conduct yourselves in a manner worthy of the gospel of Christ. Then, whether I come and see you or only hear about you in my absence, I will know that you stand firm in one spirit, striving together as one for the faith of the gospel, without being frightened in any way by those who oppose you. This is a sign to them that they will be destroyed, but that you will be saved, and that by God. For it has been granted to you on behalf of Christ, not only to believe in him, but also to suffer for him, since you are going through the same struggle you saw I had, and now hear that I still have. Anytime I travel, I try to make an effort to learn the local language and to blend in. So for example, in Brazil, I was feeling really hot and thirsty, so I walked into a shop and I went to the lady at the counter, trying to blend in, trying to speak my best Portuguese, and said, "Bom dia, eu quero água muito gelada, por favor." That's a pretty good effort, right? And that's what I thought. And then the person in the shop, after hearing my wonderful Portuguese, replies to me in English. "So you'd like cold water?" she said. Yeah, that's what I ordered. And so I'm glad that they got the translation right, or that I got the translation right. But she wasn't falling for it. She was well aware that I wasn't a local. And so she spoke back to me in what she knew was my native language. I may as well have an Australian tattooed across my forehead, right? It didn't matter how hard I tried. It was clear where my citizenship belonged. I'm not Brazilian. I'm clearly Australian. And I tell this story because in our passage, Paul speaks of making our citizenship clear to those around us. In the NIV, it's not obvious, but the literal translation of verse 27 is this: whatever happens, live as a citizen of the gospel of Christ. He's telling the Christians in Philippi to live like citizens of the kingdom of God. And this is big for them because the Philippians took great pride in their Roman citizenship. But here Paul's telling them that the thing that's meant to stand out about them is not their Romanness, but their Christianness. And then he identifies two qualities that exemplify kingdom citizenship: unity and perseverance. Firstly, unity. Look in the second part of verse 27. Paul says that they will stand firm in the one spirit, striving together as one for the faith of the gospel. He's using an athletic metaphor here when he says striving together. Just like a sporting team strive together for a common goal, Christians are to strive together for the purpose of growing the church. But secondly, he mentions perseverance. Paul says that they are to strive, in verse 28, without being frightened in any way by those who oppose you. Opposition will come. Paul makes it clear in verse 29, doesn't he? But Christians are to stand firm against that opposition. So let's apply this to our lives. How does this short passage speak to our situation? Well, firstly, I think we need to remember that what defines us is not our age or gender or class or geographical location or our status. It's citizenship in the kingdom of God. And right now, that's comforting, isn't it? When the world seems to be crumbling, we can take heart in the knowledge that we belong to a kingdom that will never perish. And our challenge is to make that obvious to those around us through those two things Paul mentioned: unity and perseverance. So pursue unity with other Christians. This will be an incredible witness in a divided and relationally volatile world, won't it? Everyone's so divided and separate over their different views and opinions. And as Jesus says, our love for one another will be a great witness to the world around us. And so, I reckon this week call someone. Actually, call many people. Pray with them, encourage them, build them up. Show practical unity by maintaining contact and growing relationships during a time when we can naturally drift apart. Unity isn't accidental. It is bought through effort and time. And that's our encouragement to you this week. But also persevere in your faith. Persevere when being persecuted for what you believe. Jesus, Paul, even history make it clear that our faith is going to include suffering. And so be encouraged by the truth that we're actually striving together. You're not doing it alone. And don't be scared. Tell people about Jesus without fear. Be proud of who you are as a kingdom, not trying to blend in to keep people happy. Let your Christian citizenship show clearly to those around you, and don't be scared of that. Paul's telling us here to allow your kingdom citizenship to be clear through your unity, your love, your good deeds, and your fearless sharing of the good news of Jesus. That's my prayer for myself and for NBC this week.